grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to all. My name is Justin B. I'm the son of a all-powerful and perfectly loving God and a qualifying addict in multiple fellowships, living in the miracle of recovery one day at a time. And I'm here with the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and my co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, why don't you come say hi? Tell us what's going on in your life.
Hi, everybody. Well, I'm at a really high vibration today because I just got off the Noodle meeting and I'm in a small town in Ontario. That's where I live, Ontario, Canada. And with my friend, actually my bestie is Starseed. She's just everything and in the program. And I've just been in this mode, Justin, well, I had my birthday yesterday, 52 years I've entered the earth, and I'm just in this mode of gratitude, of a real calmness. You'll probably hear my voice quiet because I'm in a place I'm not supposed to be loud, and just really present in the moment. So I have to say nothing is missing. I'm grateful to be alive. I don't need a bunch of happy birthdays because I don't really celebrate getting younger. I'm just celebrating just being present and being able to serve people while I walk this existence, which is just beyond my wildest dreams. I'm really grateful to be at the table, and I want to thank you because Noodle Nikki podcast and all the Rico platforms and resources would not be available without you. So I need you, my brother, and you're my best gift today. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki, and grateful to have you here on this time that we celebrate the anniversary of coming to Earth, right? Good. And I love how you said, let's see, what did you say? Oh, you were talking about, you're in a place where you got to be a little bit quieter, so the energy may not be as loud, but the energy is still there. It's still intense. It's still there because truth is truth, and it can be loud. It can be quiet. And I just imagine, so my wife, Heather, is a loud person, much like you, Nikki. I mean, she laughs really loud. She talks loud. She's very animated in all that she does. And when she's cooped up in a place, where, hey, I've got to be really quiet. It's so hard for her. So I can imagine, especially the first couple of days, of you being like, I'm going to be quiet here. I can imagine that. All right. So what this Noodle It Out with Nikki project is we bring questions that come to us from lots of different places, whether it be our own lives, whether it be in the Noodle chat, whether it be in the Rico 12 chat, the WhatsApp group, wherever it may be from people we're working with, and we take them to the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and Nikki runs us page by page through that book, helping us find the solution to those questions. Today, I'm bringing a question that was actually posted in the Noodle It Out with Nikki chat, the WhatsApp group. You can join in that. All the information to get there is in the show notes of this podcast. You can find that and join in there. They speak big book only, so don't jump in with anything other than questions and answers big book wise. So, but here we go. Here's that question. What if someone I'm working with, my sponsor, my prospect, maybe a family member, maybe somebody that I'm just interacting with, isn't demonstrating the desperation of a drowning man, isn't admitting powerlessness? Nikki, what does the book say in those instances?
It says a lot when I can find the unmute button. Let's see here. And I just love that I love what God does, everybody. God gives Justin a wife and a co-partner over here that are louder than he is because he's so soft and gentle. But anyway, here it is. What if someone I'm working with, and you said, what if I'm someone I love or lives with me, or that a business partner, and they're not desperate or they don't want what I have. Well, the exact instructions on page 96, and I'm going to go real simple today. It says, move on. It just says, where does it say? I'm trying to say it says right here, it says, we find it a waste of time. We find it a waste of time. Page 96, everyone. It says, if they don't respond at once, it's a waste of time to chase a man. How about my daughter? Okay, let me just go here with some experience, strength, and hope. I saw my daughter getting into an addiction, whatever it is, I don't care what it is. And I had to leave her alone. She was not responding to anything I said. She would not listen to me or work with me. And remember, she's an adult at this point. Like it's like my daughter, my sponsee, we owe nothing. We have nothing in this world. I'm a steward of everything. I'm a steward of the children. I'm a steward of my home. I'm a steward of my sponsee. Okay. And to spend too much time on any one situation, go deeper. Some of you guys are spending too much time on those fiancés who don't really want to work with you. Like this is radical. Like if some of you know my story, I mean, I was supposed to be married. I've spent the last few birthdays in Luxembourg. And this birthday, I didn't go to Luxembourg. I stayed right here and he did not come here. So, if he's not eager, I'm not going to chase anyone because to spend too much time on one situation is to deny another situation. You see what I mean? This is really radical. It's like, I want to go deeper in here too. It's like, I can't remember the page number. It's in the doctor's opinion, and my book is falling apart right now. And maybe you can find it. I know it's I can see my workbook, and I didn't bring that to the countryside with me. But it says, Bill, and maybe in Bill's story, Bill suddenly realized that in order to save himself, he has to work with other people. See, I need to work with other people to be free. I'm a servant. My job, my purpose is to serve. So if I can't serve that person there, then I'm not going to be free. It says if I'm sorry with the quotes today. It's my birthday. I can play a little different today. And it says he succeeded only in keeping sober himself. So go deeper. I'm going to only succeed in keeping free myself when I work with someone, whether or not they get better or not. You understand? Like, so I'm free today, but some of my sponsees have drifted off. My children are drifting off. My person is drifting off. My coworkers, life, but I'm free. Now, page 63 says it's better to meet God alone than with those that don't understand. See, some people are not going to understand what we're driving at, right? It's like, what are we driving at here? Are we driving at trying to arrange people's life to suit our needs? I mean, this is all big books talk, and we don't need to find the pages. They're in there. Why don't we play a different game today on Noodle? Find the pages I'm talking about. You find them, listening audience. Like, are you busy burning energy foolishly, trying to arrange other people's lives to suit your needs so you can be happy, joyous, and free? Right? I mean, that goes deep. And so what if someone I'm working with is not desperate? That was a key word you said. See, our book on page 28, some of these pages will pop up, says, we in our turn. Now that's a key thing. I've been here 13 years. Justin, you're right around me too. We're around here over a decade. And I just found out the other day from a friend in another fellowship. We were reading the book together. He's recovered. We were iron sharpening iron. Two or more people gathered together. I read this quote. keep your finger on page 28. But Justin, I mentioned you too. I didn't know if you were a Noodle, but I said, this is Justin and mine. We love this on Forward to the Third Edition. Each day somewhere in the world, recovery begins when one alcoholic talks with another addict, sharing experience, strength, and hope. So see, that's where the recovery begins, not when my sponsee gets better, not when my daughter does what I say, not when my son, who forgot to call me on my birthday, who I asked 2 years ago, get a passport so we can travel, who still doesn't have, you see what I mean? Like no, it just begins when I talk with another addict, because where I'm going on page 28, it says, we in our turn, see, we take turns seeking, sought the same escape. We're all trying to escape what? Self, the disease of self that centers in our mind. And we need the desperation every day. So, my daughter's not desperate, my son's not desperate. And later it says, I don't want to spoil a later opportunity. So I'm to walk away and leave them until they come dragging their ass back to me, going, how are you free, lady? How are you sitting literally? Like, let's go deep on this thought, everybody. Some experience, strength, and hope. How was I sitting free, staring at the water yesterday when I desperately wanted to be married to the man I love? When I wanted my 21-year-old son just to message me. How was I free to notice that Justin, a ladybug, landed on my leg yesterday and started laying little bugs? Like the first one, I was like, I saw it. I was like, what is that? It's pooping on me. And then I pushed it off me gently. Well, I think it was gently, but it was probably aggressive. And it landed in the sand next to me, and it never flew away for 2 hours because it was laying eggs on me or all around me. And here's the thing, because of course we had to call Dr. Google and like, what is going on? It's not normal that they do that. They normally don't do it on a hot day in August. They don't do it in the sand. They do it on plant life so their kids have something to eat. But here God put it on me. And I wasn't blotting out my consciousness yesterday. I was present in the moment of now. I was desperate, wanting peace with God. I wasn't focused on anyone else. You see what I mean? So this is radical stuff. Like, I don't even know where to go, because remember, we entered a spirit world. So if these people don't want the spirit world, they don't have the desperation. That includes your sponsee, your family members, your coworkers. People don't want what you have. Move on, because you're going to spoil a later opportunity, says the book. Justin, come in with some thoughts,
Yeah,
especially about the ladybug.
the ladybug. I love that you had that experience. I don't know if I have many more thoughts other than how cool it was to be able to sit there and just watch nature, watch God happen right with you, right next to you, in a moment where you easily could have been sitting in self-pity. But I want to share two experiences I had this last week that I think pertain to this, and they're both recovery related. I've also had real life experiences with family, but I'm going to go with the recovery related ones. I had two people call me at different points this last week. They were both what I would consider newcomers that got my number from whatever source and reached out to me to say, hey, what do I need to do? One of them, it was very obvious that his goal was, I just need to get through this as quick as possible and never think about this again so that my life can go back to normal. He was not desperate. He was just looking for a quick fix pill. And as we talked, I actually got him to admit that in one way or another, that you're just looking for a quick fix. You aren't looking for a change of life, a change of everything that you have. This other person I talked to just last night had the desperation of a drowning man. He was homeless. He was desperate. He was seeking a solution in a way that was not just, I need a quick fix and I need to do this. I am willing to change anything and everything in my life. Now, which of those two people is it going to be, quote unquote, easier to work with, less demanding? Well, the first guy, because I can just say, hey, set it and forget it, and you call me when you need me. But who's actually going to do the work and who's actually going to help me in that process and make me really reflect on where this is. It's the second guy, the guy who is desperate and dying. And so, if I'm in that place where, this is so funny. Just this morning in my step 11 practice, I was guided. So I'm going to share a lot of stuff here that isn't normal, Nikki. So I'll have you jump in a minute. But yesterday I was supposed to give a talk, about a 15-minute talk in church on a topic, and I got about 4 minutes. My time was taken. I had prepared this talk. I'd spent a lot of time preparing it, and I was tempted to have a little bit of fear and resentment about it, but it worked out perfectly. It worked out perfectly. But this morning in my step 11 practice, what God told me was, the reason you spent that much time working on that talk was for you. Now, so what I want you to do is go read it again and change the audience to you. You are the person you're talking to. And it changed everything. And I think I think that goes along with this, because I prepared the talk prayerfully and everything, thinking, okay, what do these people need to hear? And I thought that everything was for that, but it turns out it was for me. So, Nikki, talk to me a little bit about what I've shared with you, these examples, and how does that fit into what we're talking about?
The audience is always us. See, this is spirit world stuff. And that's why I'm saying it's page 84, everybody. This is not an overnight matter. It must continue for our lifetime. Like I just heard you say this too, page 164. It's like God will disclose more to you and more to us. Like this is radical. I think it's on page 64. God, it's just all over there. It's like your real reliance is upon God, not upon people. And so everything we're doing at the end of the day circles back to, what are you learning during this human experience? We're spirits having a human experience. So what I heard you say right now with the first guy not being desperate, okay? You obviously, page 18, you got armed with the facts real quick. I mean, that's what we're to do, everybody. We're to follow these instructions. Get armed with the facts about yourself, about the people about you. Then you also told me, page 90, you said you said this. You're like, Nikki, what we need to do is we really need to get an idea of people's behaviors. Like that's what we really need. That's what we're here to do. This is not about getting the new Bugatti, you guys. This is not about getting the new title at the new job. This is about, the big book is about relationships. It's about a relationship with God, the God of your understanding. It's about a relationship with you, because you're having a human experience learning about self, the discovery deep down inside. And then it says, get an idea on page 90 about the problems. The problem is we're here. This is deep. It says you entered the world of the spirit. Now, at the first, we're just trying to get people through the book. I get this. We're just trying to get them off the drugs, get them off the food, get them off the porn or whatever your addiction is. But then this is where I find, and this is my experience, and this is, I think, why our success rates are so low. We are not getting deep into the spirit world. And you know what I mean by that. That's why, Justin, and I love actually, I was talking about you with my friend this weekend, because I was talking about how much you're my brother. And I said, religion doesn't work. It can help when you're connected, when you're in the spirit world. But if religion alone was enough, I'm sorry, everybody out there. Our friend Justin B would just be in his religion. He would have never needed the rooms. Like, this goes deep. So we need to get an idea of the seriousness of people's conditions. If they tell you what they tell you, then believe them. If they say, I don't want help, then don't give them help. If they say to you, well, I just want to get through the moment and I'm not really, see, now those kind of people, Justin, I'll tell you, I will throw to my new sponsee, because my brand new sponsee is desperate to find a sponsee. And so they need someone to work with. So I'll be like, you know what, new sponsee, take this person. If you get through step one, step two, no big deal. But you've at least got some practice on taking someone through at least a step. Gives them some godfidence. It lets them know that they can rinse and repeat this. And then what I do, and you are there too, sir. You are the soul surgeon, just like me. And you are not going to, there it is. It's back to page 96, a waste of time. It's a waste of your time because now you just said it. You've got a beautiful wife who could use your help. We have the beautiful grandson that is yours that I borrow. You understand? So that's a better use of your time. How about this? A better use of your time is to sit alone in your two-way prayer and do exactly what God told you to do. Reread that and apply it to I. Because when I'm speaking right now, it's like Nikki's speaking out to an audience out there. Justin and I, we're speaking to ourselves. You and I know when we get at this table, we're going to get off this chat today or this meeting today or this podcast today, this time together today, and we're going to feel so much better. And it was really for you and I. It wasn't, yes, we're helping others. It's like when you sponsor, yes, we're helping someone else, but it's really, we're helping ourselves. And that's how you help yourself is by helping others. By me showing up today, you showing up today where our intention is to help others. In fact, we're helping ourselves. Your intention was to go and speak and help an audience, your whole congregation. But instead, it was all spent to help you. See, God's plan is greater than our plan. We just can't see it. Remember, we're less and less interested, page 62, I think, 63, in our own little plans and designs. This is so radical, many won't make it. And I heard you say some key words too, Justin. Seeking, willing. A lot of people aren't seeking anything but the need to be right, the need to get out of a situation. They're not really seeking God. A lot of people are willing to do what they need to get out of that DUI, to lose that 100 pounds, to get in good favor with their husband and wife so they won't leave them alone. But they're not really willing to destruct themselves. Page 14, destruction of self. That's not easy, Justin. I love your story. I was actually talking to the starseed I'm with out here in this magical Hallmark card land. It's TV movie land where there's Mennonites running around and all natural food. And it's crazy. Green trees and blue water. And what I told her, I said, and my friend Justin, and she knows you because she listens to the podcast. She knows all about you. And I said, his wife actually came into the room 8 years before he did. This is radical. You weren't willing. You weren't seeking anything but what you wanted at that time. And what was wife to do? She was to do what? Move on, not spoil a later opportunity, not nag her husband to death and be a spiritual nuisance. She was to trust God, clean house, and help others. You see, Justin, thoughts on that?
Yeah, and on that, the cool thing about that is I'm grateful my wife is a pretty quick learner because at first she was nagging me until she learned these principles and learned that it wasn't going to do me any good or her any good if she just sits there and nags me and says, you have to do this, you have to do that, here's what I need you to do. It was probably less than 6 months of her in the rooms that she was like, oh, you know what? I'm here, but I'm moving on. I'm not what you do or don't do does not affect me and my relationship with God, me and my relationship with my kids. So I'm letting you find your own path, and hopefully someday our path will come together.
Okay, here it is. I'm going to read it because this is what they will drill into all Al-Anons. And when you're sponsoring, see, sponsoring is part of Al-Anon because you get to test the ground. It's like the training, before you go into war, if you're a military, okay, or let me use the baseball analogy for my friend. Okay, here we go. You're in practice. You're whatever they call it, baseball practice, okay? But you're practicing with all the other teams. So when you get to the World Series, Justin, you're ready. Okay, so here it is. It's page 118. It says, his ways. Now let's go deep, because the question was, where's my question? I'm writing all these notes. It was like years and years and years. I'm desperate. My sponsee's not desperate. They're not desperate. I don't even know where I wrote it. I've got tons of notes here. My sponsee's not desperate. They don't have the desperation. They're not willing to do the work. My daughter's not listening to me. My husband's not listening. Here it is. Everybody, remember, this is about remembering things, and remember your book at all times if you can. This is the book that works for us. If you're like me and Justin. Page 118. People's ways of thinking and doing are habits of years. Go deep, of decades. Think about that. You're programmed, you're trained. Their ways of thinking and doing are habits of years. Patience, sponsors, parents, daughters, mothers, brothers, uncles, aunts, grandparents. You need patience. You need tolerance. You need understanding. What's it like? What was it like when I came in? What was it like to be a 19-year-old, 20? Well, I was never a 21-year-old boy, but I remember, well, and see, what was it like? I was a mom at 18. I was responsible, and I'm expecting them to be the same way I am. That's not their experience. Oh, and it was 1984, 85, 92. Now it's 2025. We are, I'm not going to indulge in the cynicism of the state of the nations, but the world's a little wacky right now, everybody. It says, and love are our watchwords. Is everybody watching for those words? Like that you said, Justin, I can imagine, and you and I are sticklers for time. We're watching the clock. We're like, you have 15 minutes. Now they're eating into your time. Now I'm building a little resentment. Now I'm getting crazy that I have 5 minutes. Oh, now it's 4 minutes. And that's all they want. And I've prepared. You see? Now go deep. But my watchwords, Justin, are to be patient. But they're, no. I have to be tolerant. I need to be overstanding. These people aren't aware of time. I'm a respecter of time. Maybe no one else is. What can I do? I can love. I can look for the God in everybody. I may not be able to help everybody today, but I can look for the God in everybody. I can pause page 119, roll your eyes across. You're on page 118. I can pause because a resentful thought's coming, and I can obsess about my blessings because I have an obsessive mind. Back to page 118, I can show the world these things in myself because I'm not going to deny someone the right to suffer. I'm not going to play God anymore. I'm going to reflect these principles to everyone, and they'll be reflected back to me because it says, live and let live is the rule, because I don't know how to live. See, I just turned 52 yesterday, but I don't know how to live. I'm learning every day. I've never been here before. I've never been in this moment before. I don't know how to do life. And this book shows me. And then my brother Justin sharpens me and reminds me of who I am. I'm a spearhead. I'm a child of God. I'm not God. Everything's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Page 417, when I complain about anything, I'm complaining about God's plans and his magical designs and the little ladybug that lands on me. I don't know better than God. Take us out, my love.
Thank you so much, Nikki. This, just like you were saying, as we take these questions and discuss them, it just comes right back and looks right at me and says, "Hey, this is for you." Everybody, just because it's for me doesn't mean it's not for you too. Reflect on these things that we've talked about and ask yourself, ask your higher power, how does this pertain to me? What lesson can I learn, and what action can I put into place in order to solidify the lesson I've learned? Guys, what we're doing here is game changing for each individual. It may not be game changing for the world as a whole, but as each individual changes, the world can change eventually. So keep at it, dive into this work, keep coming back, sit all the way down, come all the way in. Let's work this thing because you are worth it.